Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name is Dan Davis, and I'll be bringing you the action for the second fun event that we have in the off-season. We are live here at Silverstone for BMW Night, a night of just pure BMW multi-class fun. We've got all sorts of different BMWs out here this evening. We've got obviously the GT3 M4 and the one and only GT3 M6 that Starrock is in. We've also got the GT4 M4s on track, and some of our all-time favourites. We got the M2s out on circuit as well. Majority of these cars are separated by 10 seconds in pace, so we'll be seeing a nice split of the categories, and the qualifying is going to be whoever can set the best laps with everyone else on track. But nonetheless, it's going to be an exciting night's worth of races. Definitely going to be entertaining, and our first multi-race event in the off-season. But at the minute, it is Hooper leading the way in the GT3 class, closely followed by his new MSA teammate driver of Kieran O'Reilly, leaving SimPlay Racing and heading over to MSA. Evening tips, Gary Clarble and Lexi in the chat. And let's enjoy some multi-class racing. Leading the GT4 class at the minute is Torok in the MSA car, but he's not looking in MSA colours tonight. Obviously having a break this tonight. And we've got a couple of new drivers. It is Dubot, who is currently the fastest M2 driver at the minute, currently chased by Snai. So how it will work here tonight is we're going to have a qualifying session very shortly. And literally, it's going to be a 20-minute qualifying session. Every car is going to go out of track. And it is down to people finding the space with one another so that they don't get in each other's way. Let's have a quick look at some of these liveries in these BMWs. Obviously, this is a remark back to our Audi event we've done in the last off-season, where we did Paul Ricard, we did GT2s, GT3s, and the GT4s. Obviously, BMW tonight, and we've got the extra M2 touring cars. So, all right, Hooper going all black with O'Reilly adding the MSA colours, Cloudin in his Cloud9 colours, with one of our new drivers, Lino here, currently 4th at the minute, 2.4 off the pace at the minute. He is just ahead of Smith in that, lovely purple and blue and white livery. Starrock in the only M6 from what I know, out on track in the a creamy, bluey looking livery, very nice looking livery. And we got Andrew Taylor in the SimPlay Racing colours, Tordog in a stock livery, Ben Rook in another SimPlay Racing colours, as is Matt Wright. Old Sim Racer going for a creamy look to his car. And returning back to the championship this season will be at Hunt as well. A couple of new drivers as well. Again, I really do apologise if I really get these names wrong. Flenza, I'm going to go with. Then we got Dubot. Snai is sitting there in 15th place at the minute, ahead of Ramsell, who's by far got the most interesting looking. Yeah, the most interesting looking livery. He's gone for the flump look. Now, if anyone in the UK obviously know what a flump is, that's basically what that car looks like. So tonight is going to be Ramsell, team Flump, and he's currently getting a little bit of a toe off the back of Mike Matthews at the minute in the SimPlay Racing colours. We've got Hibbs in a very bright looking M2, and then Mathew Duffin running in the SimPlay colours, once again adding a bit of red to himself. And then we got another new driver, number 20, that's Duckstein, in a black and yellow car at the minute, and struggling to outpace the M2s in a minute, so hopefully you'll find a bit of pace. Bestie in the Quantum colours, and Marshall also in the LI colours on display with himself and Smith, so both of them running those colours. So that's what the LIR racing colours are going to look like. Another name that I'm going to probably mess up right royally, Landino in the basic looking M4 colours. And we've got Gary Leach here tonight, obviously in the SimPlay racing colours as well. And Benedict Varga now coming out onto track as well in another M2. But it's O'Reilly at the minute who's just behind, who put in the times. It's going to be very interesting as well. It's just about raw patience from some of these guys. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting night's worth of racing. And also, more importantly, what we got ahead of us soon this season is a massive calendar that's coming our way. 13 races now instead of our traditional 12. Obviously, due to that, as we're running every single circuit that we've not yet got data for. So the calendar looks very, very interesting nonetheless. But obviously, we have to return back home to Donington Park. That is the home of SimPlay Motorsport. Excuse me. So let's hear you guys in the chat. What's happening? Let's hear you guys. Which out of the liveries do you like? And what do we think about BMWs in general? Obviously, now going to the World Endurance Championship. Gone into WEC. And really put some time and money into that, and looking quite competitive nowadays. Currently, there's a GT4 out on track. That is Matt Wright. And what I've seen on the symbol, currently the fastest man in a GT. I believe he's no, he's not the fastest. He's second fastest in the GT4 car at the minute, and he's a little bit slower than Torlock at this stage. A very strange car to drive, that one is. Not quite. As my cameras are broken again, so I'm not even going to bother trying to use the camera. Silverstone cameras are fairly good anyway. So we're just waiting for our qualifiers here. Last couple of preps these guys are getting in. Obviously, the guys who are watching the server right now, the server will be reset after this. And I believe it will be Valencia that will be on the team server. If you do want to be a part of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, then obviously head over to our sim grid. If you don't fill out the sim grid correctly, and I can't stress this enough, if you do not fill out correctly come the season and you have selected the correct car, then, if you've not selected the correct car and you've selected something that you do not want to drive, we will literally be copying everything straight off the sim grid into the server. So you've got to make sure that your car selection on sim grid is correct. If not, you'll be running that car no matter what. So yeah, if you do want to be a part of the action, Season 8 is coming very, very fast. I believe it's, we're at the 22nd now, so 1, 2... So looking at possibly 3 weeks away now till the season starts. So make sure you get yourself on board the championship. GT4s have sadly gone, but they've been replaced with the Darren Cup, where it's just going to be a pure Ginetta GT4 championship. And I'm very looking forward to commentating. Myself and Lexi will be bringing you all the action for that one. And the same rules will apply for the GT4 Ginettas. As we see here, a GT3 car flying onto the back of a GT4 car. And as you can see there, that's the speed difference. That's a GT4 against a GT3, and the M2s are even slower again. As you can see there, O'Reilly's having to go right around the outside to avoid contact. Let's see if we can get an M2. Here we go. There's the GT3 having to pass the two M2s, and Taylor having to go up the inside, be a little bit cautious, and that's the speed difference you're going to notice. So while the M2s are quite good little race cars. They end up quite closely packed to one another. So seeing these guys go door to door while also trying to avoid GT3s and GT4s is going to be somewhat entertaining. And you can tell already it's actually relatively close for the M2s. Quite a quick class we've got there. But again, it's still a hoop at fastest at this moment in time. Cloudin just off the pace ever so slightly here at the minute. And while I got this opportunity, I'm going to read out the calendar for the new season. This would have been so much easier if my computer was working, but it's not. So season starts on the 10th of June, and first things first, we'll be heading to Belgium for the first round of the season. It's going to be Zolder where we start things off. Then we go to Monza for the second race, and it's going to be our one and only morning race of the season. And then we head to the Netherlands for round 3, which is Zandvoort. Round 4, we go stateside for Circuit of the Americas, COTA. And then round 5, we head to Spain. Round 6, we head to the Hungaroring. And then we make a trip back to Italy for Misano for round 7. We head to France for round 8 of Paul Ricard. And then round 9, we head to Suzuka for our first night race, followed by our second night race, where we go back stateside once again to Laguna Seca for round 10. Round 11 is going to be one of 2 British circuits that we go to. We go to Snetterton for round 11. We return back to Spain for round 12 for Valencia, and for the final race of the season, we will be returning home to Donington Park, round 13, for our evening race, the one and only evening race that we have. So that is what the calendar looks like. That's what you expect to come this season. And like I said, we've got the Who Darren Cup Ginetta GT4s, obviously in respect of one of our drivers that we lost last season, Who Darren. We have named the championship after him in honor of his memory. So sign-ups will be going up very, very soon. Obviously, the guys in the Discord at the minute get the priority, but once they do go live, everyone else can get involved. If you are a part of the Discord, then obviously you guys can get yourself signed up and ready for the new season. McGowan in the chat saying, good day to you, sir. And how are you doing? Hooper now improving his lead as well, looking quite happy in that M4 at the minute. Fairly similar handling to the Mustang, so probably took to it like a duck takes to water. So Hooper doing relatively well at the minute. O'Reilly quite close to him, and Clouden just behind them as well. A little bit more of a gap in GT3 class. I think the best fun is going to be in these M2s. These M2s are going to be a right giggle to watch. You're going to be slipstreaming one another, trying to avoid hitting one another. As Benedict Varga here has not set a lap time yet. Is he going to put one on the board now? He looks like he's going to. And where's he going to put him? He does not set a lap time. So we've got Ladino as well to put a lap time on. And I even said his name wrong. Pros almost full, I think. There's only one spot available. Obviously, the way the pros work is obviously we ask you to do the hot stint. So once you do the hot stint, then we will obviously see if you're definitely in the pro category, then we will obviously put you straight into the pro class. If you're on the custom, we may put you in the pro-am class, and especially down the back end of the pro-ams, just we'll put you in the pro-am class, sorry, to see where you lack it, where you are paced in there. Once you then had a couple of races with the pro-ams, then we'll see if you need to put up into pro. But obviously the way it will work now is pro and pro-am will have separate classes as well. So you have the much faster pro drivers, which would be the gold drivers, followed by the silvers as well. And the way the reverse grid will work is they'll start to the back for the gold, and the golds start to the front, and the silvers will start to the back. Same with pro-am, that's been split as well. So we're just coming to the end of this practice session, and not really many GT3s actually out on track. I believe there's only one that's Lino actually out on track at the minute, the only GT3. Everything else at the minute that's on circuit, I believe, is a GT4, and they need the most work, I think, because they are a handful to drive. We've got Leach there as well, and there's mainly a lot of the M2s as well that's still on circuit at the minute. But a very simple format tonight. Shame ever not turned up. I'm not sure what you mean by that, McGowan. Are you talking about last season? Because hopefully, like, this should be a good season. There should be a good amount of drivers. We are missing quite a few drivers tonight. I think I haven't seen DJ Phil, who was meant to be racing tonight as well. So 7 GT3. Yeah. Yeah, yes, I did last season. The last two races, I signed up in the pros with you guys. Look forward to be a part of the full season. We're looking very forward to having you, as well as qualifying is now underway. And trust me, this is going to be absolute carnage. 3 different classes all trying to find space out on circuit. This is going to be entertaining, and Hooper straight away out on track and looking for the clean air. Now, if I was most of these guys, I would have waited in the pits, especially if I was a few of the M2s, maybe the GT4s, just waited a little bit longer. And you can see in the background M2 being hunted down by Clouden as Matthews trying to get out of the way. And the M2s will want to draft one another, while the GT3s will want clean air. Everyone not turned up tonight. Anyone not turned up tonight? There's a few by the looks of things. We were meant to have pretty much a full grid, but by the looks of things, we've not quite got that. So, as you see, there's a couple of M2s drafting one another. My thing keeps jumping about, so that's going to be entertaining. Oh, this is going to be mildly entertaining. Oh, God. I'm going to try and get my keyboard to work so that I can change cameras. I don't think it is going to work. Technology at the minute in my house does not want to play ball tonight. So I'm even watching the stream through my phone. That's how good technology is working for me tonight. No, keyboard's not working either, so I'm going to bail on that. We're going to have to be stuck on these cameras. Done. Had enough of that. Right, Hooper now coming down to the main straight, and no one in his way whatsoever, and he's got a perfectly clear track. Also, we've got O'Reilly, and I think he's cleared most of the traffic, and he's got a lovely gap as well. Not a lot of cars wanted to go out at the minute. But Hooper is going to be the man to set the pace from the MSA group. And what can he do? We'll keep an eye on all of the categories as well. Toro not gone out yet. Obviously, guys, this is just a fun event. It is just a bit of a laugh on the off-season, just to keep everyone entertained and busy while we are racing. We do have another fun event coming up very, very soon. It will go live on the Discord for everyone to sign up to. And I really stress as much as I can to people to sign up to this one. We're going to be racing at Monza in the GT2s. Now, we've had a few drivers really wanting the GT2s, and I don't think that many people like driving them, but honestly, it's going to be a laugh. It's just a giggle. The same concept as this. We'll have a qualifying session, and then we will go into a race, hour-long race, but with GT2s. Please, that will be going up live very shortly, so make sure you sign up to that one. That'll be a good laugh as well. I'm racing in it. I believe Mathew Duffin's racing it. I believe Lexi is commentating on that one as well. So honestly, it's just a little bit of fun. If you do need help with setups or anything like that, help one another in the Discord. That's what this whole group's all about, and that's what I love about this Discord as well. We are a brilliant community, and we stick to one another. So please, when they're available, sign up to those ones. So Hooper now coming out of the final corner. We stayed on board with him because he is the man who is going to cross the line first, and he is going to set the benchmark as long as he's kept it within the white lines. And to the line he comes. It is a 58.0, a decent lap time from him. It is then going to be O'Reilly, who's now coming out of the final corner. I'm going to try my very best to remember corner names around here, but he's now heading towards the start-finish line. And he crosses the line, and he's 4.1 off the pace, showing you that he had traffic. Clouden, meanwhile, was behind Smith, and he obviously had a little bit of traffic as well. We got the 55 of Mathew Duffin in that M2, currently on a qualifying lap. He is right behind Sny. And so far, so good. There's not many yellow flags. Everyone seems to be aware of one another at this minute. So Snai sets the pace as Duffin goes a little bit quicker. Oh, Ben Rook's had a moment. He's gone off. There's Taylor crossing the line. He does not set a lap time, nor does Mike Matthews. Hibbs crosses the line. He now goes into P6 on that attempt. Ben Rook, I saw, was very, very wide. And he now comes to the final corner. He does not set a lap time. And we now got another M2, that is Dupont setting a lap time. He goes into 8th. Marshall now 9th. Who's that in the background? That is Benedict Varga finally getting a lap time on the board. Have we now got a GT4 lap time? No, we don't. Oh, we do. Hunt has now crossed line and has set a lap time for the GT4s. Just as that happens, Matt Wright instantly goes quicker on that one. I don't think we will see Tordock in this session. I think he's going to stay from the pit lane. Duckstein crosses the line in 8th, and that's a brilliant name. Love that, Duckstein. And now, although Hooper has had a couple of nice laps of clean air, he's now coming out the final corner, and he has caught a car, and that is Bestie. He's cleared him relatively easy as well. So to the line, here comes Hooper, and he improves at 57.6. And with the way the traffic is, I do not see anyone else really improving on that. There is a car off. That is the 35. That is Lexi gone off. Robert Ramsell crosses the line. He does not set a lap time. The flump does not improve. And 2/10 off goes O'Reilly in the BMW. Jamal Clouden, no improvement. Smith, no improvement either. And now we look to the gaggle of cars. We have here Snai, Duffin and Lino all going down towards the final few corners here. I believe Snai has gone wide. Yes, he has, as Lino goes up the inside to try and basically gets a good run out of the final corner. To the start finish line comes Lino. Closely behind him will be Duffin. He gets up into 4th place position. Duffin, meanwhile, no improvement. He stays fastest of them all at the minute. Snai did not improve either. We'll go to Hibbs. We'll look to the M2s for lap times. Here comes Hibbs. Can he improve? No improvement. And I believe that is Ben Rook behind. And he goes fastest of the GT4s now. And once again, there's a whole gaggle of cars coming to the line. There's a GT4 going through. And that was Old Sim Racer, who manages to put a lap time on the board. Hunt improves his lap time ever so slightly. What's Bloody doing racing tonight? Oh, Blobby. What's Blobby? I said Bloody. Blobby. Blobby is... do you mean... by any chance, do you mean the flump, as we're calling him? So Sturrock crosses the line, still 5 seconds off the pace, but nonetheless, giving that M6 a good go. It's nice to see the M6 out on track. It's not been seen for a while. Hooper is in the pits, and I don't think he is going to improve on that one, so he's like, I'm done, I've had enough. As O'Reilly comes to the line, no improvement for him. And we got the, was that 79? That was Best crossing the line. Just a little bit off the back of Varga at the moment. Where is the flump? There is the flump. And the flump goes up into 16th place position. That's 5th in class. And as you can see, it has split out quite lovely. As you can see at the top, 20, obviously the white are the GT3 cars, the grey are the GT4 cars, and the reds are the M2s. And you can see the M2s are quite popular. As we see Taylor now, has he actually managed to get a lap time on the board? He is currently up on his time. I say up, he's actually got a valid lap, and he does go up into P5. So good lap there from Taylor. We've still got a few minutes left of this session. 10 minutes still to go, and a lot of drivers will probably be working on their setups, their race setups, fuel, all that lot now. As Ben Rook, no improvement. He stays where he is. Hibbs in the background. Going up into the Pro next season coming. What can he do with the pro drivers? Can he give them a threat? That is the question. Starrock now coming into the final few corners. Matt Wright is currently coming into the pits, and that's something that no one else has practiced. It is pit lane. So good little practice session there for Matt Wright. Can Starrock go faster than Smith in the M6? No, he cannot. Duckstein, meanwhile, has now gone faster than the M2s, which is good to see. The number 11, that is Mike Matthews. And at the minute, Mathew Duffin setting the pace in the M2, so you'd be relatively happy with that. What is that lap time from Duffin in the M2s? It's a 2:16.0, so Mathew Duffin really setting the pace alight here. I believe that'll be a new record in the M2. So now, like I said, we're getting to the part of the session where some drivers may think they can't improve anymore, and they'll start working on little tweaks and changes to their race setup. Do their fuel calculations, do all that, and see where they are sitting overall. As Taylor comes to the line, does he improve on 5th? No, he does not. He stays where he is. So some of the M4s are either struggling to put a lap time on the board by going over track limits, or they're choosing to just stay at the back. Now, we do have the 24 here, GT4 driver, coming down the back straight now. Can he finally get a lap time on the board? Landoni. Thanks, Best. I'm glad you enjoying my comms. I'm really glad. See, this is why I should have been best commentator, but you didn't give me that. The 24 driver ends up in 12th place, finally getting that lap time on the board. I believe Tordok is planning to start from the pit lane, or not the pit lane, sorry. Why did I say pit lane? He's talking about starting from the back of the pack, so that could be an entertaining watch as well, as Hooper has come back on track, as is O'Reilly and Clouden. And Taylor is also on his way out. Smith currently out to the line, and he improves and goes ahead of Taylor. A nice improvement there. Best, where are you at the minute? You just sat in the pits. You can go quicker. Get Benedict Varga. You know, you got 7/10 there to find. Go and find it. I don't see anyone beating Duffin's time in the M2s. I think a little bit helped that was with a little bit of toe. So coming to the end of a lap here. The flump is, I know that. Here he comes. Currently P19. And now he goes P18, so improves on Mike's Mathew position. The M2s are close. You got Hibbs, Snye, Ramsell, and Matthews, including DuPont, who are quite close to one another, separated by 7/10. And then you got Bestie struggling to catch Varga. Nothing really Bestie. But Ben Rook at the minute leading the GT4 class, looking quite quick at the moment, and you got Hooper leading the GT3 class with Duffin fastest of the M2s. And we got Starrock once again coming to the final sector. He's got a little bit. Do you know what? This has actually gone a lot smoother than I thought it had. I'm probably going to curse this for the race now, because I'm pretty sure the race is going to end up being a mess. Because I've said how well this has gone. But hey-ho, it's just a fun event. Starrock does improve, but he's still got to find another 8/10 to get near Taylor's time. Just in there, that M6 can do it. We've got 25, that is Taylor. Says he's not on a valid lap. Hypetech in the chat saying he's gutted he can't race this one. And then we've got Mike Matthews now coming out the final corner. Mike Matthews, can he improve? And he does, and just goes behind Mathew. Duffin. So once again, Snai and Matthews ready to be going. You see Snai sliding the car. Those M2s can be a handful. They do have to be driven without the traction control to get the best out of them. O'Reilly now coming to the line. Can he find those 3/10 to get ahead of Hooper? No, he cannot. Hooper's not on a valid lap himself. Matt Wright now coming to the line. Can he be the leading SimPlay driver in the GT4 class? He can. He improves and goes faster than Ben Rook at the minute. So there's a fight on between those two, and I'm pretty sure Tordok will be hunting him down later on. As Gary Leach has managed to go out on track, so hopefully he'll get a lap time on the board to get him into the GT4 class. We've got Snai now in the final sector. The only car I can see in the final sector that is on a valid lap. To the line he comes. Can he go faster than Duffin or Matthews ahead of him? No improvement there, so he just stays where he is for the meantime. The 5.57, that is Benedict Varga. He is on a valid lap. Let's see you guys in the chat. Which out of the billion W's do we like? Obviously, we've got the M4, the M6, the M4 GT4, and the M2s. If anything, for me, I find the M2s the best looking car, to be honest. I quite like the M2. Short. Varga seems to be very laggy for me, so I have to be careful with him. But here comes Benedict Varga. I say that, but he's bouncing all over the hell, and he's nearly in the pits. He comes to the line now. He doesn't improve anyway, so that's handy because he was really struggling on my screen. As Mike Matthews now coming to the line. He needs to find another 4/10, and he does not find those 4/10. Now we look to the 69. A Flenser coming to the line. Does he improve on his lap time? Yes, he does. He goes up to 11th place position. A great lap time from him. Meanwhile, while I was looking away, Matt Wright did go slower than Ben Rook, and he'd go slower once again. He improved, but he can't go ahead of Ben, and Ben has gone faster. I want to actually look at these times because I know roughly what they were doing. And yeah, once again, where are they? There they are. Yeah, they have found some decent pace. Ben Rook into the 209s and right now into the 210s. So very, very quick indeed. So there is a 104. DuPont coming to the line. Any improvement for him? Yes, he does. He goes 16th and splits now the SimPlay Racing boys. Mathew Duffin had to go back out thinking his lap time was safe. It is not now. People are improving towards the end of this session. We got the 25 next. That is Taylor coming to the line for GT3s. Can he get ahead of Smith? Not quite. A couple of thousands made. Starrock now. Can he get at least in touching distance of Taylor and Smith? And now we go back to O'Reilly, who's going down the back straight. Jamal Cloud in there just warming up the tyres. Further back, I think that was possibly, yeah, Benedict Varga getting out the way of Mike Matthews. Evening, Chris. How are you doing, my friend? Lexi saying that our IR liveries are the best looking, and John thinks the M2s are the best car. But we're now looking to O'Reilly. Has he found those 300s? No, he has not. And he will stay in second place, but he goes for another lap, though. He was on pole. He was on pole for the Ford versus Ferrari event. Can he take pole position for the BMW event? At the minute, it's going the way of Hooper at this present time. Starrick is currently on a lap, but I think O'Reilly might have just pushed the limits a little bit too hard there. He's still valid. I've lost the chat now on my phone. That's brilliant, Dan. Starrick now exiting the final corner, but he's going to pit lane. So now we will look to the Triple Eight. That is Hunt. Can he improve on 12th? He just needs to find a 10th, and he'll go ahead into 11th place position. And in the final corner comes Hunt. Trying to get a good exit. He needs to find the 10th. That's all he needs to find. To the line he comes. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. He goes up into 11th place position. Here comes the Flump. Currently 20th at the moment, and improves and goes ahead of Hibbs. So that has improved. Mathew Duffin, I believe, will be safe for the M2 pole. Now we just see if O'Reilly is still on a rapid lap time. I said that Mike Matthews is still on a lap. And O'Reilly now out of the final corner. Is it going to be Hooper or is it going to be O'Reilly? The MSA fight to the line. Here comes O'Reilly. Was it enough? No, it was not. We just now wait for Mike Matthews in the M2 and the 313. That is Gary Leach. Can he get himself off the back row? And here comes Mike Matthews now. And towards the line he comes. Any improvement? No improvement of him. It's just Gary Leach now. We wait to cross the line. And here he comes. He finally gets off that back row and is with the GT4 cars. So as you can see, perfectly split other than Tordok, who will start from the back of the group. But it's Hooper who will lead the GT3 class. Ben Rook will lead the GT4 class. And Mathew Duffin leading the M2 class. So this should be an exciting one. This should be very entertaining. I'm definitely looking forward to this. It's going to be just a mess, I think, as well. Title is wrong. Yes, I can't do really anything about that here and now at the moment because I haven't got a computer. But I'm sure it will be adjusted and changed at some point. But right now, who are we thinking is going to win each class? Get your votes in on the chat. Obviously, I can't make a poll. But who do we think is going to win each class? Hooper on pole for the GT3s. So the way it's going to be is Hooper from O'Reilly, Clouden, Lino with Smith, Taylor, Starrock, Rook, Wright, Old Sim Racer, Hunt, Flenza, Leach,
30 seconds.
Landino. No, I keep getting that one wrong. Landoine.
20 seconds.
That's good enough. Landoine. Duckstein, Duffin, DuPont, Matthews, Snye, Ramsel, Hibbs, Varga, Best, Marshall, Tordok. Just at the end there, Darren Bell manages to get into the session, but he's not going to make the start, I don't think. Or he did make the start. Has someone missed that? Yes, they have. Duffin and Duckstein did not make the start. So Duffin's great qualifying has come to an end. Lexi in the chat saying Smith wins GT3, trust. Peaceful in the chat. Peaceful stepped out, good evening all. Very busy grid. And Chris says Ben Rook for GT4s. I'd like to see the M6 do well. So here we go, guys. If you do like what you see here at SimPlay Motorsport, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to be notified so you do not miss any of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport. And if you want to be the part of the action next season, which is coming up very, very soon, then make sure you have signed up to our sim grid. Make sure all of your details are correct, from your Xbox and PlayStation account names to the car you want to drive to everything else. If you do not get those things right, you will not be racing. Simple as that. Well, you will be racing, but not in the category that or car that you wanted. So make sure that you do all those things and do it correctly, because if you don't, it's going to be a real struggle for you. Varga has now ended up in the pits as well. And also I want to say a massive thank you to our sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport. Have a look in the description below to see all their links and see what amazing products and stuff that they do as well. And I said next week, next Wednesday to be in fact, will be the GT2 night. 1 hour around Monza. I said we're just trying to introduce some other cars, get people playing around with different things, and yeah, just having a blast really. We were a group of friends. I know obviously a lot of the SimPlay racing boys are in a chat together and having a laugh and a giggle. I know probably the MSA boys also are in a chat as well. So there's a group of people together just having a right good laugh, and obviously you can always join the Discord chat as well. There's usually people in there. But this should be quite entertaining. I think for the first 3, maybe 4 laps, we won't see any lapping. But as soon as we see the GT3s catch the M2s, that's where it's going to get very, very interesting. And the GT3s have to be patient. They can't just barge their way through. They have to wait for the right opportunity. That is the fun of multi-class racing. The slower cars stay on racing line. It is down to the lapping cars to do the work. So we'll see how it all pans out. There could be tears, there could not, but either way, it should be an entertaining race. A great community. Haven't heard Ben laugh so much. It's great to hear that, Chris, and like I say, it makes me very happy to hear that one. As the guys now come into the final few corners here, they're going to go 2 by 2. It is BMW night. It is all about the German manufacturer here tonight. Who's going to come out top of the BMWs as you now enter the final corner? Who puts on par with the MSA leading the front of the grid? Who's going to win the GT4s? Who's going to win the M2s? But our eyes are purely focused on the GT3s at the minute, as we just now wait for the green here at Silverstone. BMW Fun Night, who's it going to be? We are green and go, and Bell and Marshall already getting themselves a drive-through, being out of position, and Hooper defends straight away from O'Reilly into turn number 1, as O'Reilly just has to fall into formation. We look back to the GT4s as they're all pretty much in a decent order there. It is the M2s that are all over the shot, and look at that, the GT3 car of Bell trying to clear them. As long as he doesn't hit no one, it should be all relatively good back there, as Gary Leach also attacking one of the cars ahead of him. But it's Hooper who pulls away after the first sector, and all these guys trying to get tire temperature by the looks of things, as the M2s come flying through, and they've got still a GT3 car coming through, and I believe Tordok is already clearing some of the M2s as well. And we can see here, Hunt is under pressure from Leach. As Gary Crowell said, and it's go, go, go. Yes, it is. And let the carnage begin. Best obviously got caught up somewhere earlier on and is now being caught by the cars that have now exited the pits. Duckstein is now on track, as is Varga. And now the last of the guys that started from pit lane. But Hooper got the start he needed and is pulling away from O'Reilly, ahead of Clouden, ahead of Lino, Smith, Taylor. Oh, Taylor's had a big moment, but he manages to collect it together, and the M6 goes past. Ben Rook, meanwhile, pulling away from right, as Old Sim Racers still try to stick with him. Hunt ahead of Bell, by the list of things, who's just clearing Gary Leach. There goes Bell clearing the cars. He's got to drive through as well, so he's got to do all this hard work once again. Tordok has already cleared the M2s and is now onto the back of the GT4 class. Who's leading that? DuPont at the minute is leading it because Duffin failed to make the start, and he's already quite close to the back of the M2 class anyway, so it's still going to be some close racing there, as Mike Matthews giving him a hard time. The Flump struggling to go with him at the minute. So is DuPont leading away, as Hooper says fastest lap, but O'Reilly's coming for him and chasing him down. Drive-through still yet to be served for Bell and Marshall, and I'm pretty sure Marshall will probably come in relatively early to do a drive-through. No, yes she is, in she comes. So we've got quite a close fight actually between the top cars of each class. Hooper and O'Reilly close together, and then we got the two SimPlay Racing boys, Ben Rook and Wright, and then obviously DuPont and Mike Matthews as well. But O'Reilly right onto the back bumper of Hooper here. Get this fun out while you can, boys, because once you catch the back of the pack, you're going to have to try and negotiate them as easily as you possibly can. Drive-through clear for Marshall, and she gets going once again. Anything is still possible. Obviously, pit is required. There'll be a pit window open, 20 minutes. I believe it's 20 minutes. I can't remember now. And they'll have to pit within that window. But O'Reilly hunting down Hooper. You can see the GT3 cars have already spread out quite a bit. Starrock, though, is under pressure from Taylor. You can see the M4 is so much more better than the M6. As Bell bounces over the dirt there, as Rook is pulling away from right, and Tordok, I believe, is already starting to make his way through the GT4 class. Next one is Leach for him to try and chase down, and Leach having a good little fight with Hunt at the minute. Meanwhile, DuPont is still ahead of Matthews, ahead of Ramsell, ahead of Hibbs, Sny, and then Duffin, who's ahead of the rest of the guys behind. Oh, Benedict Vargas had a moment and is going to have Marshall going past. And Best is ahead of these guys as well, so Best moving his way up the order. Darren Bell still yet to do his drive-through. He's cleared the GT4 cars. Does he go another lap just to make sure he clears them? Does GT4 have to move for the GT3s, or can they make that work for him? They're not allowed to fight them, but they do have to kind of stay on the racing line. So the lapping cars, so the GT3s will mainly see lapping. They will have to make sure that they make it as easy as possible to clear, while the rest of the guys will have to just stay on their racing line to make it as obvious and clear what they tend to do. So I said we're enjoying the close fights at the minute, but I think once then we start getting some lapping cars, it's all going to go a bit... it's going to go a bit upside down from there. Hooper, meanwhile, out in front, ahead of O'Reilly. Clouden just dropping off the back a bit. Lino in the colour no man's land, so Smith. And Taylor still has not cleared Starrock at the minute. So the M6 holding its own at the minute. And we've got Bell now coming through the Abbey section. Just ahead of the GT4 class, which again is quite closely packed. Gary Leach now got Tordok breathing down his neck. He was following Hunt for quite a bit, but now he's got the pressure of Tordok breathing down his neck now. Does Tordok send it up the inside of the hairpin? No, he doesn't. Can Leach, more importantly, get through the whole race without his internet dropping out? That is the question. Meanwhile, DuPont has pulled away from Matthews ever so slightly. Ramsell's caught Matthews ever so slightly. And Snai now is attacking Hibbs. The two greasy bandits drivers. Oh, Mathew Duffin's had a big moment on his own just behind. And Lexi is off once again. But Snai clearing Hibbs there. But looks like Hibbs had a better exit. And now is in the tow. The 64 has been disqualified for not doing the drive-through. Snai defends the inside, Hibbs goes to the outside. Some great little scraps happening here in the M2s. And Snai there holds on to the position. O'Reilly once again on the rear wing of Hooper. They're coming to their first lap cars, which is Alexius. Did say about, what, 4 or 5 laps they would start to get into the traffic. Then we go back to the GT4 class. Old Sim Racer holding up Hunt, Leach and Tordok. Here comes Tordok. And Leach making him work for it. Down the inside will go Tordok. Is he going to be later on the brakes than Gary Leach? He is going to do so, but Gary Leach keeps an outside line. Will hold the inside then for the chicane. Into Vale they go. And Tordok has to concede, has to wait a little bit longer. Cannot pass Leach at this stage. He's had a great run through there, though. Ben Rook, though, in a comfortable position, and there's Matt Wright's going away from these guys. And up the inside is Tordok going to go. Not quite far enough alongside. And Gary just gives him enough racing room there. But Tordok's going to go around the outside to then be on the inside for the hairpin. Gary Leach once again just giving him racing room, but that's it. Gary Leach is struggling to stay in front, but he sends up the inside. Tordok just about gives him enough room, but Tordok's going to get the drive. He has a slide actually, and Gary Leach will stay on the inside. Oh, and Tordok ends up on the grass and hits Leach. So both go off big time. Gary Leach with major damage, as has Tordok. And just behind them is Flenser trying to catch him as well. DuPont, meanwhile, still ahead of Mathews. Mathews just can't quite get with him at the minute. And Ramsell just lost touch. Snai, meanwhile, has dropped behind Duffin and Hibbs. So Hibbs and Snai possibly come together. They're a little bit slow. Snai gets going. Duckstein goes ahead of him as well. So does Hibbs. Bestie's not too far away from him either. Varga there. And Marshall just at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Hooper and O'Reilly now clearing some traffic. As Taylor looking to the inside of Starrock right now. And Starrock goes wide in the M6. And Taylor can't find a way through. Taylor still looking for an opportunity to get Pat Starrett, but can't at the minute. As you can now see, everything is all spread out. DuPont, meanwhile, still got Mike Mathews and Ramsell not too far behind him. As Ben Rook seems to have lost a little bit of time to Matt Wright and has been hunted him down. Gary Leach has continued, and so has Tordok. The damage to their cars it's quite significant, and that's allowed Hunt and Old Sim Racer to pull away. So GT4s at the minute are spread out quite a bit. It's actually the M2s that they've got the closest fight. Or not, actually, they're quite spread out as well. So Hooper leads the way from O'Reilly. He was on him earlier on, but seems to have just lacked the pace now, and Hooper is pulling away from O'Reilly. As I get rid of my keyboard. And the gap has increased by 1.1. So they've now caught up to Snai. And how will Hooper deal with this? He should easily out-drag the M2. And Hooper going to go down the inside. Job done. car cleared. Oh, but he has a little bit of a wiggle going into the entry, and Snide goes a little bit wide. That makes O'Reilly's life a little bit easier. Meanwhile, Taylor is still fighting hard to try and find a way past Starrock. But it's not happening at the minute. Oh, Starrock's made a mistake there, and that should give Taylor the position, surely going into the hairpin. Yes, it will. So the M6 now dropping back behind all the N4s, other than Bell. As I saw Matt Wright getting closer to Rook. Battle of pride this is for SimPlay Racing. Who is going to be the leading SimPlay Racing driver of each class? A minute, Rook is hanging in there ahead of Wright. Old Sim Racer has got Hunt under control at the minute. Leach has still got obviously damage to the front end of his car, and he's still ahead of Flenser, as also Tordok's got damage to his car. They're just waiting for the pit window to open. I think Tordok's trying to slide the car to make it turn around. Mike Matthews has dropped off the back of DuPont, and DuPont has pulled away. Meanwhile, Duffin is racing a GT4 car, and just about stays ahead, but that GT4 much faster in a straight line. Look at it come. Oh, and contact made. Mathew Duffin goes round. He's about to hit that curb, and he holds on to the brakes as the leaders come through as well. And O'Reilly and Hooper get all kinds of squirrely through there, and Hooper is now under pressure from O'Reilly massively as he's trying to clear some traffic. Cloud in there, now trying to clear Duffin. This could end in tears as they're trying to pass the GT4 car around the outside. There you go. And Hooper still holding on to the lead at the minute. Oh, that was a heart in mouth moment. So now you got the rest of the GT3 cars trying to clear the M2s. And Taylor is now on the inside of best. He gets the job done, and just in the back of Vargas hanging it sideways. Clouden has now cleared most of them. So we still got obviously the leading M2 drivers who still got the GT3s coming at them. And where is Ramsell? There he is, and there are your leaders. Hooper and O'Reilly going at it hard. Two tenths separating, and O'Reilly's really giving Hooper a hard time at the minute, and I'm going to find it very difficult to keep an eye on what the times are because there's so much going on my screen at the minute. I do not, who's not fighting who, and down the inside goes Hooper on Ramsell, and O'Reilly goes with him. This is going to be interesting because O'Reilly will not be able to see the M2s as quickly as Hooper will. And here's Mike Matthews. They're going to try and clear him as best they can. Hooper had to check up because Mike Matthews is coming through. And there is O'Reilly looking to the inside of Stowe. Is he? No, not quite, because they've now got another M2 they need to clear. And once they clear that M2, they've got the first of the GT4s. They've cleared the M2. Now they've got Tordok next ahead of them. Meanwhile, I believe Matt Wright once again just ebbing and flowing with Rook at the minute. They're pulling well away from Old Sim Racer and Hunt as well. Gary Leach looking like he's doing the best he can with that car. But there is Tordok, and there are the leaders. And Tordok stays on the racing line, but the leaders come through, and Hooper goes through, as does O'Reilly. A great little scrap between these two, and they finally get some clean air for once. Clouden has now cleared the M2 saga. Well, not quite. There is DuPont. He's cleared him now. And I believe Mike Matthews dropped right off the back of him now. Ramsell quite a bit far away as well. Just all relatively close. We've got a couple of the other GT3 cars now trying to clear this traffic. There's Taylor in there, Stark as well. All these guys trying to clear the traffic. And there is cars absolutely everywhere. Meanwhile, your lead is now coming down to Maggots and Beckett's. And so they're going to be on to the GT4s. Ben Rook and Wright are still close to one another. Every time I look at the track map, they get closer and closer. O'Reilly, once again, another great run through Maggots and Beckett's, is now in the tow of Hooper. We've got a yellow flag. I think that is Lexi off. Yes, it is. She's managed to get it around. But O'Reilly looking to attack Hooper. They're coming to the chicane. He's looking left. He's looking right. Now down towards the fast swooping right-hander. Oh, Hooper there just getting held up ever so slightly. And there is Gary Leach, obviously got damage to his car, and they finally clear the GT4 driver. And I believe there's another car off again. That is the 24. Who is that? As O'Reilly looks to the inside. That's Duckstein. And Landino is gone. We lost the GT4 driver now. We did warn these guys, this was going to be a bit chaotic. There's Lexi now ahead of the GT3 leaders, and through goes Hooper. Just cars everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I'm really struggling to keep on top of what's going on. The only cars that seems to be having a bit of clean air is these two, is Ben Rook and Wright at the minute. An old sim racer has been caught by Hunt, and they're sooner or later going to be caught by the leaders as well. What's happening with GT2s? Not a lot. Duckstein has got back ahead of Duffin. But your leaders at the minute still pulling away to the front. Jamal Clouden just not been able to go with him. He's now stuck in the middle of all this traffic. He's stuck behind Gary Leach, who's got significant damage, obviously, with contact with Tordok earlier on. And to the outside goes Jamal Clouden. And job done on clearing those cars. Anything can still happen. Just takes the leaders just to push a little bit too hard. Taylor, meanwhile, has caught Smith. Down the back straight they go. Can Taylor now get past Smith? Once again, we've got the SimPlay boys fighting it out between Ben Rook and Wright. And just behind them, Hunt and Old Sim Racer. No one quite within touch of distance. I say that, and you look behind, you've got the two GT3 cars of O'Reilly and Hooper. Hooper a little bit twitchy there. You can see O'Reilly's just a little bit smoother on his lines, and Hooper a little bit more animated with his driving. And now they've got two cars racing one another, and now they've got to clear them. Pit window has now opened. O'Reilly's stuck behind Hooper, who's got to try and clear these GT4s. We've got a GT4 fight versus GT3s on the outside. O'Reilly has to go with them. Old Sim Racer has been compromised from that. Has to go straight on, and Hunt will get... Oh! Big contact there. Old Sim Racer has just ploughed into the side of O'Reilly. Big major damage for both cars there. Oh, bit unnecessary there from Old Sim Racer, if I'm honest. Big major damage there to his car. Leach comes into the pits. And now Clouden, like I said, just took the clearing of cars to happen, and Clouden now up into second. So it's still Ben Rook and Wright still going at it for the GT4 class. A lot of cars have come into the pits. Duckstein once again has lost a position to Duffin as Duffin gets back past him. Ramsel's in the pits, as is Tordok, obviously with the damage he had earlier on. And we've lost O'Reilly. Oh no, O'Reilly is there. He's just obviously, no, sorry, it doesn't come up with a P. Was that intent? I have no idea, Chris. Not a clue. I hope it wasn't. And it's like Rook has pulled a little bit of a gap away from Wright as Wright's just struggling. You can see the GT4 guys are struggling with these cars. They're not the easiest thing to drive. Out of the actual 3 cars, if I were to rank them as easiest to drive to the hardest, probably put the GT3 as the easiest to drive, followed by the M2, and then followed by the GT4 cars. I see a message in the Discord from Old Sim Racer saying sorry to O'Reilly, so I think it was not intentional. So that's clear on that one. So can Clouden now do anything about Hooper? That is the question. As Hooper has now caught the leading GT4 class. And there is Matt Wright. Matt Wright just staying on his line. And through goes Hooper in the background. Once again, Duffin. Oh, Duffin's been hit by Duckstein there. And around he goes. Through goes Hibbs. Where is Snai? There he is. And Duffin has managed to get going. And Duckstein just causing little issues there for Duffin by the looks of things. As Best has now pitted and come back out. Marshall, Lexi's gone incredibly wide out of turn 1. Oh, and there's Hibbs and Duckstein. So Hibbs now going to give Duckstein a bit of a hard time in the GT4. But DuPont at the minute got a comfortable gap over Mike Matthews. 5.8 is the gap. Matt's having a bad night. Yeah, Matt is having quite a bad night. He's struggling at the minute. He put it on pole position, then didn't ready up. And ever since then, he's been caught up with a little bit of silly incidents with Duckstein. Matt, I would not be messaging on the SimPlay chat, mate. I'll be focused on staying out of trouble. Hooper now going through to cross the line. Like I said, 20-minute pit window for these guys, so they have 20 minutes to get their pits done as Clouden now clears the GT4 class. Not a lot of fights happening at the moment that we can see. Probably these two are your closest fight on track. No, Hibbs and Duckstein are your closest fight. And Mathew Duffin wants to get back into that action as well. You see a lot of correction there from the front of Duffin's car, the front end. You see the wheels moving a lot. And you see Duckstein now under pressure once again from an M2. This time it's Hibbs. So Leach, Ramsel, Torok, Best are the only ones to get their pit stops done. Does anyone coming to the pits this lap? I believe this is Best. He's nearly at a moment did Best. He manages to keep it together. Lexi comes into the pits. Oh, there is Matt Wright and Ben Rook. As they go through the middle sector, they are ready to be closer. They are clearing the flump of Ramsel. For a second there, Ben looked like he was under pressure from Matt Wright. quite a bit away from the guys at the minute as well, as Benedict Varga has been passed by Gary Leach. No one else coming in pit lane at this minute. And everyone's kind of just spread out. A couple of guys have pitted earlier on. Probably explains why there's a bit of gaps. Rook hanging that car sideways as Wright's trying to hunt him down. To the fast right-hander, they go. Once again, Matt Wright chasing the Team Audio Sport driver once again. Obviously, in the Ferrari, Ford versus Ferrari, he was up my backside for quite a bit in that event, and now he's on the backside of Ben Rook on this one, so can't seem to stay away from us Audio Sport drivers by the looks of things. Yeah, Matt Wright now trying to give Ben a bit of a hard time. This is probably your closest fight. Yes, it is. So we'll see if Ben can absorb the pressure. They have got an M2 ahead of him. That is Benedict Varga. Into the heavy braking zone. Ben has to go tight on the entry. And Ben right round the outside of the M2, and Wright has been held up quite a bit there, but obviously Varga has to stay to the racing line. Ben in the chat, sorry, not Ben, Tank in the chat, hey guy, big hiccup tonight. The verbal lesson is to be preparation my end. So Bell in the end having to leave after being disqualified. Mike Matthews has now decided to pull the trigger. There's a slow car. Who is that? Is it? No, it's the 36. 36 of Clouden, I think. Into the pits comes Duffin as well, as we are just coming up to the halfway stage. And there, Duckstein now under pressure once again from Snai. So Duckstein seems to be having a bit of a hard time with the M2s. Oh, you see there, Duckstein's gone very wide, very, very wide. And Snai just being aware. Oh, Duckstein nearly is to the back of him there as they go through the chicane. Meanwhile, the fight between the GT4 class has been extended as Rook pulls away from Wright. Possibly the lap traffic has not worked in Wright's favour. And through the S's goes Ben Rook trying to pull away. Meanwhile, Snai has lost out to Duckstein once again. And I think that's just pure straight line speed of the GT4s being quicker than the M2s. At the final corner, does Duckstein decide to pit? Yes, he does, I believe. Yes, he does, and Snai's come in with him. Oh, and Snai goes up the inside of him, coming into pit lane, so Duckstein probably a little bit earlier on the brakes. And Hibbs now coming down towards the Maggots and Beckett section. So the way it's running at the minute, Hooper leads the way with 12.3 ahead of Jamal Clown, ahead of Smith in P3. Taylor is in P4. Lino is in P5. Storic P6. Ben Rook is leading GT4s ahead of Wright, ahead of Hunt in P3. Fenza in that P10 position of fourth in class at the minute. Hibbs is leading the M2 class as DuPont has now pitted with, where is Mike Matthews come out further? He's behind Ramsell. So Mike Matthews losing out quite a bit there in the stop. Benedict Varga still yet to stop as well. So you see Tordok is slowly working his way through the pack. He needs to really clear the M2 cars. And Ben Rook now might have to respond to Wright as now he comes out of the pits. And that is Jamal Clouden ahead of Hooper? No. Clouden comes in. I'm confused. Clouden's leading the race somehow. Unless Hooper's had a mistake or has waited. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Hooper is now behind Jamal Clouden. I'm really lost now. I've even ended up saying that wrong drivers are in the wrong teams already, somehow. So I made that mistake earlier on. There's Duffin in the background. Is that him chasing Sny? Yes, it is. And both of them are ahead of Duckstein, but these guys have had quite a running with Duckstein. I think Duckstein is going to keep pestering him towards the end as Tordok has passed DuPont. Meanwhile, 35, that is Marshall, has got a drive-through to serve now. Yeah, and the driver I kind of messed up, who's because he's driving in the green. I'm used to seeing Greasy Bandits green. Sny is not driving for Greasy Bandits, but because he's driving the green, I'm so used to seeing the Greasy Bandits in that green, and he's been racing with the Greasy Bandits all season. It's kind of got me muddled up a little bit. But Hooper has come back out the pits. He's now back ahead of Clouden, and Tordok's just split them. And Taylor's now stuck behind DuPont, but he's still yet to pit his Taylor. Rook has now pitted. Where is Wright? Is Rook about to go green? Hibbs has gone green. Where's this going to put him? DuPont is long gone, as is Mike Matthews and Ramsell. Where is... there is Sny and Duffin. And Hibbs is already heading towards Maggots and Beckett. So Hibbs got quite a healthy gap to them. So it's just Taylor left to pit now. So I'm not sure what happened to Hooper there. But slowly we are getting the cars back to their original grids, or original classes. But Duckstein is the car that's out of position at the minute. Oh, he's gone off again. He's gone off big time. He's kept it together though. Oh, and that's Ben Rook as Matt Wright's coming through as well. And Duckstein, what is... not sure where he's going. There's flash the lights there from Wright. The Duckstein gets quite close to Roy. Oh, is he going to hit him? Oh, he just about gets away with it. Oh, that was sketchy as Ben goes very wide out of Stowe. Sorry, just I'm going to deal with something on the Discord briefly. There is Ben Rook now still being chased by Wright. As you can see there, Sny is being lapped by the GT4s. And down the inside goes Wright. While this is all going on, this is allowing Duffin to chase Sny down a little bit. Oh my God, GT3 car coming flying through. That is Smith. They're going to have to be really cautious. Lexi's off again. Oh, Smith just chops the nose of Duffin there. As Duffin was getting closer to Sny, Ramsell, meanwhile, was under pressure from Mike Matthews. And right around the outside goes Matthews. Is he going to keep it? No, he's not. And around he goes. M2 spinning left, right, and centre. Has Sny been caught by Duffin? No, he hasn't. Has the GT4 class got closer as Wright has lost out quite a bit to Rook as Smith was trying to get past him. So Ramsell now pulling away from Mike Matthews after a little bit of a close racing there as the GT3s and GT4s trying to clear cars. Duffin, meanwhile, in the background has got Starrock coming through, and Duckstein once again closing in on Duffin. Oh, Duckstein looking... And GT4 obviously looking racier than the M2. Oh, and he's going to have a better run. He's going to be faster in a straight line, and Duffin's going to have pressure once again. And here comes Duckstein. Is he close enough? No, he's not. Well, he's going to send it into the left-hander. No, he's not. Duffin holds on. Well, Duffin's just trying to hunt down Sny. Duckstein's really giving him a hard time. Oh, I think that's contact. Yes, it is. And around goes Duffin. Wow, Duckstein has cleared Duffin, but probably not the way he probably wanted to. Meanwhile, Hooper still leading the way. Everyone has pitted. So running order, GT3 class, Hooper leading the way ahead of Jamal Clouden, ahead of Lino in third place, Smith in fourth with Stark in fifth. Taylor ended up dropping behind him quite significantly as well, so not what happened to him. Now we look to the GT4 class. It's Rook still leading ahead of Wright, ahead of Hunt, ahead of Flenser, ahead of Leach, and then Tordock in that final position in sixth place position of the GT4 class. Then the M2s is DuPont leading the way with Ramsell in that second place position ahead of Mike Matthews. Then it's Hibbs in that fourth place position. Sny ahead of Duckstein and Duffin. And then you've got Wenger, Bestie and Marshall bringing up the rear. And Duckstein now has a GT3 car coming to lap him. Taylor goes on through.
Pit window is now closed.
The pit window has now closed. And once again, your closest fight on track is the GT4s. No matter what happens in SimPlay Motorsport, the GT4s always seem to be producing the great racing, and it is at the minute between Rook and Wright. And who's going to have the bragging rights at the minute? I think Wright would love to be an audio sport driver. He was fastest in the free practice session in the Ford versus Ferrari. He was well happy with that for a gold driver at that, leading the Ford versus Ferrari event. Let's see if he can lead the GT2s if he's able to race it. But at the minute, they are your closest fight. I mean, I say that. Hooper's had another moment somewhere or had to slow down because Jamal Clouden has caught him once again. So, ebb and flow between these two. It seems like Hooper either making some silly errors or kind of just toying with Clouden at the minute. And down towards Magnus and Beckett, and once again, you can just see Hooper pulling away. And Rook and Wright still close to one another. Any fights in the M2s. Oh, Ramsell's gone off, and that's allowed Mike Matthews through. The flump has gone and flumped it and dropped it. Oh, and in the background, Starrock's gone off as well. That's going to allow Taylor to get closer. There is Taylor flying on through. Is Starrock going to stay ahead? He's rejoining onto the circuit, and they're going to go side by side. Taylor shoves him wide. Is Starrock going to stay on the inside? He's going to try, but Taylor just about gives him enough room, and through Taylor goes. Navaga with quite a bit of damage to the front end of his M2. And once again, your GT4s are your closest cars on track. I say that Starrock and Taylor are quite close. They're now lapping Ramsell. Oh, and Starrock had to change position there as Ramsell. Oh, I think Ramsell had a heart in the mouth moment there. Through goes the SimPlay Racing GT3 BMW as Rook and Wright are in the middle of that, and you can see there Taylor just having to be patient and waiting and waiting and waiting for the right opportunity to go through. Rook instantly moves to the side, but you can see there Starrock moves to the inside to pass Wright. Wright wants to tow for Rook, and you can just see they're all just trying to find their own piece of track. They don't hit no one. Duckstein has once again dropped behind Duffin, and through goes Hooper. Here comes Clouden just behind him as well. So Clouden having to be a little bit more respectful, I think, with lapping cars, while Hooper's kind of just sending it and hoping for the best. And through goes Clouden now on Duffin, and Hooper extends the gap. Oh, and we see here Mike Matthews, Rook, and Starrock all trying to lap one another. They're all flashing the lights. And Rook there, really in a dangerous position, as Mike Matthews is even in a worse position, the slowest car of the group, and nearly getting hit by two other cars. And that allows Ramsell just to possibly get a little bit closer, as Taylor is still trying to pull away from Struck. Duckstein's carrying on, trying to catch Duffin. I think Duckstein is really going to give Duffin a hard time tonight. Duffin lost out quite a bit to Snai now, racing Duckstein. Lexi's back in the pits. Up the inside goes Hooper on Snai. There's Clouden. Again, a little bit of breathing space for them at the minute, but not a lot. But your leading cars in each class, GT3 at the minute is Hooper with the fastest lap to his name. Leading cars at GT4 is Ben Rook. And for M2s, it is Dupont at the minute, who's pulled easily away from Mike Matthews in that second place position. Ramsell just a little bit further back. Can he catch him towards the end? Your closest fight is probably the two GT4s of Rook and Wright going at it. Hunt further back on that one. And once again, the closest fight is Duckstein and Duffin. And after a superb qualifying session, Matt tends not to be quite good in qualifying. He tends to be better in the race. In this case, it's gone completely the opposite way. He's done a Ferrari basically the last few seasons. Ferrari used to be ridiculously good in qualifying and then amazing in the race. But now Duffin's got an amazing qualifying, but his race has not gone to plan. And Duffin turns in on Duckstein. And once again, they continue on through. Duckstein, I think, is going... Where is Duckstein? There he is. And Duffin stays ahead of him. Oh, meanwhile, Wright has got within 3/10 of Rook. they get close to one another, but as soon as they get close, Wright makes some mistakes, or there's a lapping car comes along, and then the fight has then been ended. So at the minute, the next car to come and lap him is Hooper, which is he's only a couple corners behind, so could get interesting. Hooper has got an M2 declared. That is Ramsell. So it could get interesting when Hooper catches these two, who are in a quite intense fight at the minute. Duckstein's in an intense fight with Duffin. But all eyes are on the GT4 class at the minute. As right now onto the back of Rook. I've not been up to date with the chat because my Discord has been pinging off a little bit. So we'll see what's going on in here. Sturrock caught Flump, by the way. Here's racing I've seen all night has been Rook and Wright. Yeah, I think Duffin has given up. You going Silverstone for the British Touring Car this year? No, I am not. I'm only doing two, which is Thruxton and Alton Park this year. So if anyone's going and they want to say hello to me, I'll be at Thruxton or Alton Park for the British Touring Car Championship. That's literally 2 weekends in June. God, I'm going to be knackered after all that. Hooper, meanwhile, has lost time once again to Clouden. Now, they're catching this fight between the GT4s. We'll go on board with Rook and Wright, but there is Hooper. And Hooper is hunting them down. This could get very, very spicy now. Depends on where Hooper gets to clear him. He's going to clear one, I think, or not. Here comes Hooper now onto the back of Wright. Oh, they send it into the fast right-hander. And Hooper goes around the outside. He clears one. Now Rook is next. Is he going to just send it up the inside? No, he's not. He's going to wait a little bit longer. He's going to send up the inside, though, of the left-hander. And actually, that went a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. And now Matt Wright has got Clouden behind him. Clouden goes on through. And once again, once Wright catches the back of Rook, the traffic then plays into account. Now, Rook has to try and pass at M2 while Clouden's trying to clear the pair of them. Oh, and Clouden's gone off big time. Not going to hit the wall, not going to make any damage, but he's lost a lot of time in the places he's gained. He's now going to lose out as Hooper now clears best. And Ben Rook there flashing the lights at DuPont at the minute. Duckstein looks like he's lost the fight with Duffin and has dropped 4.7 behind him now. Once again, your leading driver is Hooper, your GT3 class. At the minute, 5 at the top. It is Hooper from Clouden, from Lino, from Smith, from Taylor. Where is Storrock? Storrock's left the session, so we've lost Storrock as well. So only 5 GT3 cars remain. Then we got Ben Rook leading the GT4 ahead of Wright, and there's all sorts of M2s here, there, and everywhere. Around the outside goes Rook on Best. Best goes deep and goes off. Then it's Hunt in that third place position ahead of Venza in P4. P5 has gone the way of Tordock. He's now cleared Gary Leach in P6 of that class, and P7 of GT4s is Duckstein. DuPont leads the M2 class ahead of Mike Matthews in second, with Ramsell in third. Hibbs sat in that fourth place position ahead of Snai, with Matthew Duffin down in that fifth place position. Sixth is Vargas, seventh is Best, and eighth is Lexi, and she's bouncing all over the dirt there. As Torok is now starting to pull quite a bit of a gap from Gary Leach after those two came together earlier on in the race. Big major damage from those two. And Gary Leach now just trying to keep Torok in kind of eyesight, but not really working out for him at the minute. Hooper pulling well away from Clouden now. So it just seems, I think, like a bit of traffic here and there seems to be hampering Hooper ever so slightly, with 8 minutes still left to go. And Rook still got the advantage in this GT4 fight. Reminder, guys, as we're coming to the end of this fun event, there will be one final fun event left to go, and that is the GT2 fun event. Racing at Monza, the Temple of Speed, with the fastest cars. Who is going to come out on top of that one? Please get yourself signed up. They will go live this week for the public to get involved in. At the end of the day, this is all a bit of fun. It's been a laugh. And like I said, yes, there's going to be some people who are going to be unhappy. That is the fun of multi-class racing. And if you're not, it's down to both drivers at the end of the day. The lapping and unlap, and you know, the passing cars, the overtaking cars. You know, it's you have to work together. It takes two to tango. And like I said, that's the fun of multi-class racing. But obviously the GT2s will just be GT2s on their own, and we'll see how all that pans out in a week's time on Wednesday. So make sure you sign up to that one. Make sure you sign up on the sim grid. And again, if you've not selected the right car for that event, tough, you're going to be in that car for it as well. How is the charity fund going, Dan? Haven't looked for a while. Can we still donate? I believe you can still donate. And the last I checked, it was still at that £2,172 mark. So, and again, a massive well done to everyone else. Some crazy fellas talking about wanting to do another 24-hour. After that, I was done with doing 24-hour racing. Robert Ramsell actually spoke to me and said, oh, there's another one at the end of the year. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm all right, thanks, mate. I'm not doing another 24-hour race for a while. Probably by the time that December comes around, that'll probably be when I finally get my Fanatec. No, the fantastic charity event. We raised so much money, and again, a massive thank you to all who participated in that. Not just driving, but also commentating, funding, donating, whatever you did. It massively helped, and it was a massive event. So thank you all once again. And also a massive thank you to our sponsors as well, Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well, for constantly supporting the channel. And also a massive thank you to our Patreons as well. I really do need to get an updated list. I'm going to try and find it now in the Discord. Where is Patreons? But yeah, if you do want to be a Patreon and you do want to okay, right, I'm going to try and remember these. You do want to be a part of Patreon. It's only £3 a month. You'll be able to reserve your number. Social media posts to go up. Obviously, start the new season. So if you want them posted on the SimPlay Motorsport page, they will be posted as well on there, on Facebook and on Instagram. Excuse me. So a massive thank you to Benny, Beto, Millington, Luke Saunders, Graham, Robert Ramsell, Jamal Clouden, Andrew Taylor, Snai, and Ben Rook, for all of those guys for being a part of the Patreon as well. Matt Wright also in there as well. So thank you to those Patreons. Your support does help the channel out massively. As we've got four I can't get my words out now. 4 minutes left to go. Bathurst 500. Do you mean Bathurst 500? Is it? No, it's Bathurst 5,000, I think it is, or something like that. What about it? We're talking about doing it. No, thank you. Any news on your fan attack? Ben said they have messed you around. They've not really messed me around, so I read the website wrong. And obviously the drive that I've selected, it said it wasn't going to be here until the start of July, which I wasn't too phased about. And then a couple of weeks later, after purchasing and getting every other piece, I've got everything ready to go. It's just the drive itself. It's all there ready to go, and then I got an email saying it's not coming till September. So fantastic. Oh, Hooper just clears Gary Leach going through there. Once again, Wright gets closer to Rook, but not quite close enough. Again, I'm not saying, you know, Fanatec are rubbish, but obviously I do feel like July and September are a massive jump. We'll see when it's all here. It'll be worth it. And my Logitech is, I think after thinking it's going to get replaced, I think it's now actually decided to start working again. Right, so where are we? So Hooper crosses the line, so it's going to be this lap and one more lap, and that will be it. That will be it for the B&W night. Thank you, B&W, for allowing us to borrow so many cars. A few of them are battered and bruised. But still, the closest fight that's been all hour, really, has been the Rook and Wright fight. And Marshall has said that she's underfueled. Lovely. So she's about to run out of fuel. And this is one of the things we're going to have to get used to as well, is obviously the different classes. Next season, we're going to be seeing them, as you see there, Tordock and Hooper going at it. Obviously, no real fight there, let's be honest. Oh, there goes Duckstein off wide again. This is the problem. The GT3s, they have to be so patient and just wait for the right opportunity to go through. And then, look, here they are, the SimPlay boys. Well, not really. You got the quantum leader of Matt Wright going against the Audio Sport driver of Ben Rook under now the SimPlay Racing banner. And there's a tight scrap between these two. Meanwhile, Ramsell's made a mistake somewhere because now Hibbs is on the back of him. So there are still some fights going on. Ramsell and Hibbs battling it out. And we've got Matt Wright and Rook still going at it as well. Meanwhile, where is Hooper? He's coming into the final corner. We will have one more lap, so he'll be starting his final lap. But we go back to a Ramsell versus Hibbs, and Taylor now comes flying up behind them. Tordock has caught as there. Lexi goes into pits. Obviously, she's underfueled, and into the pit she goes to try and get some fuel. Can Tordock get himself into the top four? He's chasing down the other GT4 driver. But once again, Rook and Wright are fighting it out. This is your last kind of opportunity, guys. Oh, and Hibbs and Ramsell also close. Here they go. Ramsell has to pretty much stay to the right-hand side, defending inside, but here comes Hibbs into the toe. And Ramsell just able to hold him off at this stage. You go back to the GT4 fight. Rook and Wright going at it. And obviously they got one more lap to go, and Wright's gone wide. That's going to give the opportunity to Ben, and the minute Ben's got the advantage at this stage. Ben flashing lights. Now, Ben, you got to keep going, mate. You're not done yet. Because Hooper is now in the final end of his final lap. He's coming into the final few corners here. The 88 of Hunt has just had a car, I think, pass him. Or he's about to lap a car. I thought there was a car around him. There's Smith. And just behind them, DuPont has just destroyed the M2 class. Once he's got into the lead and disappeared, here comes Taylor trying to put a lap on Matthews. But in the background, there's Best with the leader and going to win the BMW night. One MSA, one the Ford versus Ferrari. That the win of Kieran O'Reilly, and it's going to be another MSA to win another fun event. This time it's going to be Hubert. He's going to win and take fastest lap. He wins the GT3 class. Congratulations to him. Well deserved to him. There comes Best to cross the line in 20th. And in the end, Hibbs did manage to get ahead of Ramsell. Coming to the line now is the 36 of Jamal Clad, and he will take that second place. Tordok did get that fourth place ahead of Flenser in the end. Then it's going to be Gary Leach to come to the line, the 57. Who is that? Oh, that's a damaged car. That is Sny. As Gary Leach crossed the line in that 11th place position.